On the podcast, the delusion of Te Pāti Māori is laid bare for all to see. 2 MPs expelled doesn't suddenly mean unity move on, does it? It means the trouble, rather than being expelled and disappearing, is about to go nuclear and make life hell for co-leaders Wātiti and Ngāti Wapaka. Co-leaders who are out of their depth. I'll show you that tonight. The collapse of Labour's would-be coalition partner is only just beginning, isn't it? Grab the popcorn, folks. Let's go.
Are we paying these people to front up, or are we paying them to fly to Wellington to eat their lunch? Should you really lose your career for refusing to take part in a 90-minute lesson about Māori culture? This government doesn't actually have any idea how to get economic growth. Show us what you made of, Prime Minister.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief, proudly sponsored by the Brothers Green. Unlock the innate power of New Zealand botanicals to support your mobility. Try the Brothers Green New Zealand Move Joint Support Tonic and join over 20,000 other Kiwis experiencing easier movement. For as little as $1 a day, you too can experience the power of New Zealand hemp seed oil for your joint health. Head to brothersgreen.co and use code DG20 at the checkout for 20% off your first order. It's a good one. Always read the label. Take as directed. Supplementary, of course, to a balanced diet. The Brothers Green, Christchurch. Okay, g'day. Nice to have your company. Welcome to Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief. Nice to have you along. And welcome along, and please subscribe if you can. Most helpful if you text my name, Duncan, to 3598. And we'll send you a link for $7.99 a month. It makes you the best informed person in the room, basically, and a supporter of the movement, Team Duncan. You'll get extra content for that, $7.99 per month. It's nothing, is it? It's the price of half a beer. Half a cheap beer somewhere. Okay, so $7.99 a month, you get extra content, Ask Me Anything sessions, all sorts of content which we put out every Friday, which is yours and yours alone. Politicians and parties are put into Parliament to represent our hopes and our dreams and our ambitions, right? They're there to seek and get change that affects our lives in a positive way, so we want them to get wins on our behalf, I suppose. But the last thing we want is division and infighting and pointless chaos, which takes us nowhere. Te Pāti Māori, folks, make no mistake about this, is in free fall collapse. Like a base jumper without the parachute or the wingman suit. They are melting down in public. It's panicked, it's rudderless. Numerous power brokers and shady back rooms are pulling the levers. And the co-leaders, Wātiti and Ngāti Wapaka, have just come face to face with the fact that their movement has hit the iceberg and there are not enough life jackets for all. They are sinking, going down, and it all looks out of control, doesn't it? The co-leaders look startled, out of their depth, and they're now full of it. They think that this is suddenly unity. There is nothing unified about any of this. Duncan and Marimino Kapakingi have been expelled. But these people were put there by the voters. They hold seats. To think that they can be expelled and silenced, you are dreaming. It's something else. The naivety is astonishing from the co-leaders. They now face months of hell, I would have thought. The fight from these two will be clear, and they want to go and clear their name. This will dominate Māori politics for the next few months. I've seen it before. They'll lose all perspective. Māori voters will be seriously turned off by all this. While Luxon can go and waffle on and float asset sales or asset swaps as a tired old National Party recipe for future success, if asset sales were meant to make us sorted and rich, then what happened? Because we sold the lot and we're still broke. Here's the lesson. We sold everything we had and we're still broke. That's for another day, I suppose. First, the delusion of Debbie and Rawiri. It's like a bad movie. Let's go.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, you can almost hear the spin machine humming. Te Pāti Māori boots out two of its own, Marimino Kapakingi and Taku Te Whereas. And the co-leaders front the cameras grinning like, we're united. We've restored focus. United? Come on, that's not unity. That's panic in a cowboy hat. Check this out.
Today, we continue to reset our focus and our waka. Our job is to make this a one-term government that requires discipline, structure, fortitude and unity. We cannot and will not allow anyone in this waka to sabotage the work and sacrifice that so many have given.
Unity, you've got to be kidding me. Discipline, fortitude, words that mean nothing when your house is showing anything but those things. This is division on steroids. 6 MPs, now down to 4, and we're meant to believe that the waka's suddenly gliding smoother, please. If you need to throw 2 rowers overboard to keep balance, the problem isn't the paddlers, it's the captain. Rawiri Wātiti says, our mandate is clear, our voices will be clear. Debbie Ngāti Wapaka adds, we are a Māori movement. Nice lines, big mana. But it's hard to preach clear voices when you just silence 2 of them. You don't prove unity by ejecting dissent, you prove it by surviving it. 6 weeks of hooey and mediation, backroom talk, and this is the solution? Expulsion? That's not leadership, that's housekeeping. Tidy lounge, cracked foundation. Waititi says there's an appetite for transformation. What on earth do you mean? You don't transform by shrinking, mate. Native Packer insists, quote, we're extremely united. Stop forcing it down my throat, I don't believe you. If you've got to say it out loud, you're probably not. You're kidding yourself. You're lying to yourself and the rest of the country. Look, every party fights. It's healthy. But when you start calling disagreement a serious breach, you're really saying, we can't handle the challenge. We're not up to it, so they're gone. And you try and silence them, and you have. You've shot them in the head. That's fear. It's fear of losing control. It's fear of being questioned. And here's the kicker. Kapakingi and Ferris were elected. They have actual mandates from their people. Ferris is the entire South Island, and Kapakingi is the Te Tautukaro, the North. They represent Māori voters who now watch their MPs getting kicked to the curb by their own party. Tamahili said, we're not going to do this like a Pākehā party. You're doing just what you said you wouldn't, mate. Again. So what does this say about tino ranga tiratanga inside Te Pāti Māori? You can't handle 6 MPs. How are you going to handle 12? 18. This unity moment is pure optics, a photo shoot for calm after chaos. But scratch the surface, and really all we're seeing is fragility. Leadership by deletion. They're deleting 2 of their people, and they want them to shut up. Suddenly they expect people to think, a line has been drawn, let's move on, we've now got unity. Get real, pal. Not so fast, and now they threaten to take Labour down too. I can't imagine Chris Hipkins is too keen to be linked to these guys, but here goes anyway. The biggest and most delusional part of this mess, thinking they're about to unseat this government. Had they stayed focused, perhaps they had a chance, but it's been a month after month after month from hell for the left. Labour couldn't launch a policy without first falling over it, and Te Pāti Māori couldn't show up to Parliament without first blowing up the entire party. Now, on the same day as the expulsion and collapse, they expect us to believe they're suddenly a coalition in waiting? Check this nonsense out.
We have begun serious and constructive conversations with the Labour Party and the Green Party. Our people on the streets and in the polls have told us they want a government led by our 3 parties at the helm. We will work to deliver that outcome, community by community, whānau by whānau.
Yeah. Okay, pretending to be unified convinces no one. Real unity isn't silence. Real unity is messy, loud. It's people arguing and still showing up tomorrow. You can't handle disunity. That's your thing. So spare me the press. Release poetry. The wok is lighter. Yeah, but it's not stronger. The cracks are still there. You've just stopped listening for the creak, you see, haven't you? You can't preach kotahitanga while practicing exclusion. Oh, we're all in this together, but we're locking 2 of them out. You've kicked them out. You've done what the Pākehā parties do. You said you wouldn't do it and you followed that path. You can't sell transformation while you're running purges. You can't call yourself a movement when the movement inside the movement gets you fired. They moved, you kicked them out. Call it what it is. It's control over cohesion. The co-leaders might think that they've dunked it, but let's be honest, they've dunked on themselves, own goal. You don't win games by cutting half the team and claiming you're playing better than ever. Imagine Razor saying that. We're down to 12 men, we're playing better than what we do with 15. You end up short-staffed, you end up out of breath, and one scandal away from overtime. You're gone. Unity? Yeah, right. Here's the greatest delusion, thinking you've drawn a line under it and trying to convince yourself this is the end. Sadly, it's not. What about the other 2? Do you expect them just to nod quietly? Well, they haven't said that. They're going to fight this. To think they're going to go away quietly because you've said so is naivety on full show. Have a listen to this.
From today, we will not comment further on this internal matter.
From today, we won't comment on this matter. That's impossible at Awari, because what happens as soon as you said that? You then open up the floor to questions, and they then answered hordes of questions after the comment that you're going to say nothing. You're a joke. Te Pāti Māori is pretending it's now unified and forward-looking. Now, that's its hope. The reality paints a much more divided picture. Broken, they've let down their supporters. What promised so much has fizzled out like a wet firecracker in front of a small crowd who has long since dispersed and gone home. Te Pāti Māori got 1 in every 6 Māori votes last election. They don't represent wider Māori or all Māori at all, but they got 1 in 6. Come next election, they'll be lucky to get 1 in every 30 Māori votes. And if that's the case, they're gone burger. Māori voters will want to know that their vote is not wasted and that it counts. I expect voters to desert Te Pāti Māori en masse, having lost the faith and having lost all trust some time ago. This is the public viewing of the death rattle of a party. Right, it's time for some feedback. Cody says to me, Duncan, hey, just first off, just seen your latest podcast. I'd love to just say thanks for covering the youth unemployment issue and how immigrants are taking most of these jobs. For example, I see it lots in the trucking industry as well, and New Zealand people sometimes don't get a look in, particularly if you are starting out and getting experience. I know of one service station in the North Island that had a person who was on a residency program. That person left, and instead of trying to hire a Kiwi, they get another person on the residency program. It's exactly what I was saying yesterday. It's a complete joke and has to stop. I would also like to update you on the Hauraki Golf protest. Its formal name is One Ocean, and the protest is going to be on the 22nd of November. I'd like to point out the points of the protest and why, even though I don't completely agree with everything in it, why it's a good thing. This is the new areas in the Hauraki Gulf that have been protected. The points are as follows. No commercial fishing inside the areas. 2, fish are a publicly owned resource. Do not remove public consultation. 3, no new fish species for commercial sale. Fair enough. 4, above all, prioritise feeding New Zealanders, not exporting our resources. Points 1, 2 and 3 are probably the most important. The real threat of taking away public consultation is real, and I'm all for fast-tracking road infrastructure, but trying to fast-track fisheries management is just another way to shaft the recreational sector like it has been for 40 years now. It's a public resource, so everyone should have a say, not just a select few. Next, there has been an announcement made to consider putting striped marlin back into the quota system after 25 years of a moratorium. The reason's quite acceptable, actually. Surface longline is chasing tuna and swordfish quite often. Catch marlin is as bycatch marlin quite often get tangled in clear in the gear and die. Some commercial fishermen will know that. Actually, want to bring the fish back and give it to the community in some way. But the government's decided it's better to make quota for it and put it on the market, meaning people can buy or lease marlin quota and sell it, which could potentially destroy the work that the moratorium has done over the last 25 years to make New Zealand the world's leader for the biggest and most striped marlin in the world. I hope that this protest will at least let everybody know that we haven't been listened to and probably consulted on the issues. As always, keep up the good work. Thanks, Cody. Thanks, Cody. And you keep me informed of that stuff as well. Hi, Duncan. Great piece on the impact of immigration. What many fail to admit is that the trickle-down economics and immigration are at odds with one another. Trickle-down economics is ultimately based on supply and demand. People create businesses. Businesses create jobs. Jobs are a demand for labour. Increased demand with a fixed supply results in higher wages. Yep, so we get all that. Many say this is capitalism at its finest. But when companies are struggling to find employees, they lobby the government for immigrants, rather than offer higher wages to Kiwis. This has resulted in stagnant wages for 20 years now in New Zealand, ultimately driving our people overseas. We saw during COVID that when the borders are closed, wages go up. And Kiwis will do the jobs many say they don't want to do. People quit their jobs in droves to pick kiwi fruit for $50 an hour. Unless we talk about this, we're doomed to the fate of the UK. We will appear to have a growing economy, but on a per capita basis, we're stagnant or shrinking. I think we're shrinking. I think we're going backwards, and we're getting poorer. Thanks again for your hard work, Duncan. Kind regards. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you for that. Thank you for spotting that immigration stuff too. I think it's quite serious. If we don't give young New Zealanders a chance, then who's going to? It's our job to. If we don't, who will? If we don't stand for this now, what will we put up with in the future? You've got to have a line on the sand, I reckon. You've got to employ young New Zealanders. My view is you can't leave school without a committed job or course to go to. You can't just waltz out. It's not good enough. That's us, folks. Please, if you can, subscribe. Do so. You can text my name to 3598. If you text my name to 3598, we'll send you a link. And for $7.99 a month, you get all sorts of extra content every Friday. Bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, Ask Me Anything sessions. And what you can do right now, actually, you can ask me anything right now. Duncan@rover.nz. Brody, thank you. Lockie, thank you. We'll do it again tomorrow. Folks, take care. Remember, life is, you don't get a second chance. No dress rehearsal. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy it. And thank you so much for following the podcast. I appreciate it. Brothers Green, thank you. Great product. Great partnership we've got. Thank you so much. Catch you tomorrow.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief, sponsored by the Brothers Green. Feed your gut what it needs. Digest Gut Health Protein Powder. I use it myself. It supports natural digestion and gut health. Made with premium Canterbury-grown hemp powder and a unique blend of active kiwi fruit enzyme powder and kiwi fruit skin extract, offering natural prebiotics and a nutrient-rich profile to complement a balanced lifestyle. Always read the label. Take as directed. Supplementary, of course, to a balanced diet. The Brothers Green, Christchurch.